Boom. Welcome everyone. Mate Talk time. Super excited about today's episode. This is a lineup that I've been wanting to do for a little while now. I am a big fan of rose. I just love. Anyway, I'll tell you as we get into it. Announcements first. I'm going to be doing a Mates of Marcelo. It's part of this production. So you'll see me dressed like this, but tomorrow I'm filming with. Fix that up. I'm filming with. The gentleman's name is Franco. He's an Argentinian also. So I'm dressed like this, but tomorrow we're filming, so I'm going to bring it together. Movie magic will appear. Well, yes. I'm going to serve you a mate.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm going to try one of the almond croissant that's in front of me is what I want to have a go for.
We're supposed to talk only about dolce, the plan about panettone, and then all of a sudden, he brought them all in, and then I was, okay, but I want to try the other ones, and then, okay, fantastic. What did I do? I ended up buying the 3 of them.
Also talking about Libertine Perfumery, there's an awesome promo coming up. We're having a town square meeting, so to become a member, you'll have access to Discord. We're doing this very soon, so I want to share more about that. And then Movie Sense. This is a concept I did a couple weeks ago on The Shining, assigning fragrances to different scenes and personalities. I've had some great recommendations come through. I wanted to put it up for a vote, and so let's talk more about this because I'd like to do this fairly soon. Boom. Let me begin. For those who may have missed, have a look at this episode. This is definitely a bucket list experience that I wanted to create. I met Sebastian years ago when I was in Paris. He was doing a meetup in Paris. And we connected. I mean, he's an easygoing person. What you see on screen is who he is. Super chill, very relaxed. And I reached out to him recently, in particular because of Scentfest. So I'm just I get nothing for this. So it's not like I'm on a retainer or anything. It's just that when I see something that is remarkable, something that takes a lot of effort, and I know when Sebastian actually announced in March that he was doing Scentfest, 1, I wanted to go, and 2, I thought, whoa, has he given himself enough time to get, things, people coming to see him and all that sort of thing? He's knocked it out of the park. So Sebastian, it shows the power that this man has. So he's got, I think, 2,000. He's looking for 3,000 people to join. He's got an enormous number of brands. So if you want to know a lot more, have a look at this episode. 1, it's fun because we talked about Fire at Will and we shared our views on it. And secondly, he shares more about all things Scentfest. If you're in the US, if I was in the US, I'd be going to this. So anyway, check out that episode. It did really, really well. Now, I want to talk about rose. This is a fragrance note that I adore. End of story. I love, love, love rose and perfumery. It was something that I didn't think that I would fall so deeply in love with, and I love all sorts of notes in perfumery, but somehow I'm always gravitating towards the note, the rose note. I'm always saying to men, try on a rose fragrance. And so there's a collection of beautiful rose fragrances here that a man can easily have. But the easy part is these are all, if you want to categorize them, these are all fragrances that a woman can easily adopt also or own. I think there's only one that I don't wear, and that's because Sandra has claimed it as her own. Yeah, I can just see it. Only one. So, ladies, any one of these, no problems at all. Boys, these are the ones that I really, really enjoy and I want to put to your schedule. Now, this episode is also dedicated to my beautiful wife because Sandra, and for those who know Sandra, she's very expressive. I always say to her, she could never be a poker player or a politician because her expressions just show it all, and then verbally she just said stuff, Not that she's brutal, but she's just honest. This is what it is, and this is what it is. And so a lot of times, in particular with these, there are 3 in this collection here, where she uses, and this is her words, I hate rose. That's how she will say it. I hate rose. I hate rose and perfumery. And then we'll spray some of these, and she'll, oh, that's horrible. Oh, that's awful. Who wears this? All right, so that's the lead up. Let me show you fragrances that I adore, and interestingly, fragrances that now Sandra is like, what are you wearing? She's like, that smells amazing. So let's get into it. All right, first one is Rosé. This is Xerjoff's recent release, part of the Louis 15th. Did I get that right? Louis Bing Boom Boom 15th. And it's a companionship if you want to have a him and hers, if you would like to do that setup. The earlier release, Louis 15th, was a lot more aromatic, a lot more woody, leathery aspects, so you could say a little bit more masculine leaning, whereas this one here, and similar to the color, it's very light rose, very gentle, a lot more ethereal, easy for a woman to wear, but I love wearing this. Now, if you watch this particular episode where Sandra and I did an unboxing and a blind smelling, so I bought this just flying blind, and again, if you watch that video, she's whispering and saying how much she doesn't like it, and it's a horrible fragrance, and doesn't smell nice, and doesn't like the fruit notes in it, and all this sort of thing. And then sometime later, I was wearing it, and she's like, "What are you wearing? That's just really, it's just," and then she starts, "It's this beautiful soft cloud of rose, and it's very delicate, but it's got a fruity touch." Then yesterday I was also wearing it again. I came into the house and she's like, "Oh, gee, that is beautiful. What are you wearing?" And I try to keep a poker face. So I'm actually very good at a poker face. And I said, "Oh, it's a new one I'm testing, blah, blah, blah." And I put my hand for her to smell, and she's like, "Oh, that's so beautiful." And I'm like, "Oh, it's a good thing because it's the one that you hate." So rosé, what I enjoy about this fragrance is the opening and then the slow transitioning into this ethereal rose. It is a little bit linear, so it doesn't sort of move here and go there and all that sort of thing. Where it begins is pretty much the place that it then evolves across to. It does start with a wonderful, very delicate fruit touch to it. It's not over the top, not like very pronounced. When I first smelled it, I thought it was cherry, and I still get a slight sort of like a bright cherry sort of feeling to it. The reality is, all the notes that are listed is black currant and a pear, I think it was. No, raspberry. And actually funny, when I say raspberry, it's like, of course it's raspberry. It has a very light berry fruit touch to it. Everything is very ethereal, and I think it has a lightness to it. Everything seems to think of a cloud where it's just slightly floating, sunny day, bright rays of sunshine. It's that kind of feeling to the fragrance right here. And then the rose comes in like a tea-like scent profile to it. It has a very delicate touch to it. And if anything, it's very similar to the actual bottle and its coloring. So it has this very light sort of rosé sort of feel or coloring to the bottle, and that's exactly what it does too. I wrote here that there's a great drink called elderflower with rose. It's like a cordial. You mix it, you use it as a mixer. I love the scent profile that has is very similar to this. So it has this floral element touch to it. There is a fruity nature to it, and then there is that rose element that comes through. I do find also that I get a slight chocolate touch to it. I have looked in the notes. There's no chocolate or no official chocolate notes, but I do get, especially in the opening and then even in the dry down, and I don't know whether it's in my brain, but I do get a slight chocolatey sort of vibe or feel to the fragrance, but it's a very light, nothing heavy. Nothing is heavy in this fragrance period. Everything has a lightness to it. This is a great spring into summer, like a breezy summer fragrance. Here in Australia, we're going into our autumn or fall. It's great for our fall weather. On a colder day like today, not so much, but like one of those, sun is out, there's a freshness in the air, and this fragrance really, really projects forward, has great presence. I find that I'm getting at least 10 hours, easy. So 10 hours on this fragrance really moves it beautifully around. And I did write that it does have great sillage. Again, when I'm wearing it, Sandra is detecting it. We are, like there's distance, we're doing things, and she can smell that in the air. Yeah, so I wrote here, it's a breezy, sunny day. It's super sophisticated. Think of going sailing. I don't know why sailing, but maybe it's the breeze and the air and the feeling of movement in a sort of a gliding kind of way. And then this would also be beautiful like at a garden party, something that you're outdoors, you're in amongst nature and allowing this thing to sort of breathe and move around. I like this fragrance. I did read, so I said that very, very distinctly because I read in some of the comments from, but I realized that Fragrantica can be a funny place at times. They're really hitting it hard. I like this fragrance. I think this fragrance has, if I was brand new to perfumery and I wanted to grab a fragrance from Xerjoff because they were saying, oh, Xerjoff can do better. I think if I created this fragrance, I'd be super proud. So personally, I think it's a great fragrance. It's a beautiful rose, delicate, and just, yeah, a great way to get into the rose scented notes. Man can wear it. Sandra does not wear this. I'm the guy, and I think the rose is very distinct, very forward in its approach. The second one that I would like to put forward to you, this is one that Sandra does wear. This is another one where Sandra was very explicit to say, I hate this fragrance. I don't. Well, she didn't say hate. She goes, oh, that's a horrible fragrance. I'm very good friends with Philippe, who's the owner of the brand. Philippe, close your ears. But the good news is this. Can you see how hard this is being hit? I mean, that's all Sandra. Sandra, for a fragrance that she doesn't like, she has really been enjoying this fragrance. This is a favorite within my home also, my family, my son Nelson. And I want to point this out because it's interesting what it smells like in the air to what I feel it smells on me. Nelson came over, and he's forever, for those who, I've told the story before, so he never comes with perfume on. When he comes to the house, he knows that there's a million fragrances. He wants to try something new. He came out of the house, we were sitting outside, and this great, beautiful sillage, and he was a good distance, 2, maybe 3, 5 meters away from us. And this incredible sillage just sort of produced itself. And I'm like, whoa, which one is that? And he's like, come on, how well do you know your fragrances? And I'm like, I didn't, for starters, I didn't pick it. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, like, I'm literally going through my mind the fragrances that are on display, and I'm going through each one, but I just could not sort of isolate that it was Jardins de Misfah. This is, and I don't know whether it's his skin type. I just think that this is a bit of a chameleon. And one thing that I do say about this particular fragrance is that the rose is actually hiding in plain sight. There is a rose note in here, but you're not that aware of it. And this is why, so early on, I never told Sandra that there is rose in this. She started wearing it on her skin type, the way that it's just beautiful on her, it's gorgeous. This is another one where even though she has adopted it and wears it quite regularly, I can wear this. I wore it the other day and I still feel like it's my fragrance. Sometimes I find that when Sandra takes a fragrance, not takes it, but you know, when she begins to use it quite regularly, and there's one that I'll show you shortly, that all of a sudden it's almost like she's put her thumbprint on that, and I can't sort of reclaim it. It becomes hers. Whereas here, the way it plays on me is different to what I'm detecting and smelling in the air, and as it plays on her. So that was a very long. I just want to recommend to you Jardins de Misfah. Really, if you haven't tested this fragrance out, please try this out because it's absolutely glorious. All right, some of the things that I get from it. The key feature to this, other than the rose, is this beautiful pulpy date note that's in there. The perfumer is Jerome de Marino, and he actually spent a lot of time constructing this date note to give it its like a personality and give it I guess the signature to this particular fragrance. When I first spray it, I am taken to a location. Have a look at this particular episode. I did a discovery series on all things the Nuit Nomade. And I did say in that episode, and it happened again as I was prepping for today, it takes me to a stone wall, it takes me to like a dusty trail, it takes me to eating some kind of dark fruit, and obviously I'm assigning it to date because that's the thing in there. I sprayed again today, and again, I could see the stone wall. I'm like, is this a lived experience, or is this actually some, sometimes you watch something and you or you dream about things and you now incorporate it into your like it's a lived memory sort of thing. And then, boom, this happened. So have a look at this. So this is a lived memory. And because I was seeing all these things and I'm like, is this true or is this imagined? So I had an opportunity years ago. We traveled to a town called San Gimignano. It's in Tuscany. We, believe it or not, had the pleasure. So this used to be an incredible Renaissance city, towers everywhere. So for its day, it was like New York, because all these tall towers. It was a very rich merchant city, and the towers all reflected how rich the actual merchants were. Then bubonic plague came along and wiped out just about the whole town. Florence took over the town and said, no more building, because Florence was jealous. This is a true story. Florence was jealous of these towers and all the rest of it, and put this town into a time warp and held it onto it. So they weren't allowed to build anything. They weren't allowed to crush anything. So these towers, these towers still exist. And when you walk into the actual center, it's surrounded by a wall. It's like walking back in time, literally. So we had the privilege of staying in one of these towers. We were there for like 6 days. So for me, San Gimignano is locked into my memory. And this is what I would do every morning. I would have my breakfast on top of the tower, overseeing all of Tuscany, like a duke of some sort. And we would do walks around the city and all the rest of it, and there was this beautiful garden that was, I was gonna give you the east-west, I don't know, but there was a beautiful garden, and this is all connected. So when the moment that I'm like, oh, it's San Gimignano, all of a sudden the whole thing comes flooding back, and this is what I get. So Jardins de Misfah brings me to this place, brings me to this feeling. There is a beautiful warmth, and I actually wrote this in, so it's joyous. I wrote here, it always surprises me. I wrote here, warm skin, a dusty trail, eating dates. It has all these pieces. One thing that I do get from it also, and again, not listed, so on the notes, it seems to be listed, I think it's nutmeg and cardamom. I don't get either one of those two, so I don't get that really deep spiciness or anything of that nature, but what I do get is like this licorice caramel effect. So it's like a herbal, very welcoming, very gentle, very soft round edges with this slight sweetness caramel sort of element to it. And again, when you think of like a date, what are they called? A date slice? Sticky date pudding. Think of like a sticky date pudding. I don't know if the rest of the world does this. In Australia, it's a big deal. So the sticky date has a very caramel fruit, dark fruit sort of element to it. And there is this beautiful, not overtly sweet. So there's no vanilla or anything of that sort of heightened sugary. It's more caramel and dense and more molasses-like, if anything. And that's what I get from here. Sorry, it's a gorgeous fragrance. If you haven't tested this out, I really recommend it to you. You can, I showed you earlier the Discovery series, so you can use NFC 10 as a discount code. That'll give you 10%, and I think it even gives you free delivery. You can get that whole set, and you can then follow me essentially and listen to, because the entire Nuit Nomade collection is phenomenal. They really create some beautiful fragrances. Also feel like they're very accessible when it comes to their price points. They have different sizing too, so it makes it super easy and versatile. When it comes to longevity and sillage and yada yada, 12 plus hours without a problem. And I do get great push on this. Like I said, when Nelson wore it, understandably he did, he was just sprayed. As a family, we don't spray more than 3 times. I hear people spraying 5 plus. I don't know how. We all have very sensitive nose, so 3 is where we all live, basically. And we were, like I said, 2 to 5 meters away from him, and his sillage, his push on that fragrance was phenomenal. Big recommendation. Boom. All right, let me, what's the time? Yes, okay. I can see that this is going to be a long month. It took two fragrances, and it's 19 minutes. Sorry about that. Everything's chapter marked, so you can just go ahead and skip and move through. I just get a little bit enamored with some of these fragrances, and away we go. This one's going to be quick. This is Sandra's fragrance. Initially, I did I did adopt this as mine, and then Sandra took over, and like I said, she's put her DNA, I guess, or her thumbprint on this. I can't wear it anymore. When I smell this, I think of her, of Sandra. It's Impadia. Now this one here is a lot of, again, another one where there's a lot of love-hate towards it. I think it's a great fragrance. I know that it has been compared to like Delina and Guidance, I believe. For me, it's Impadia. So it borrows some of these elements, but it's its own personality. If you like, for me, it's very clear. So there's not too many nuances to this fragrance. It's very like, this is who I am. Excuse me, sorry. The three sort of core elements to it. One, it's very fruity. It has a very distinct fruitiness to it. Two, it does have a very clear rose. And three, it does have a woody / vanilla element to it. I do get a very deep sandalwood piece to it, and I do also get quite a bit of vanilla. I go back, my wife, I hate rose, and she doesn't like vanilla in her fragrance, and yet, again, another one. Can you see how, when Sandra falls in love with something, stand back, she begins to OD on the fragrance. I smell this everywhere. I did not spray this fragrance on me because it would overpower everything else. To the point, I sprayed on card before I was preparing this morning, went home, had a shower, blah, blah. And the moment I walked into the office, this card, it's like I'd sprayed it by the door. Impadia was everywhere. It's a super pronounced fragrance. It's something that, again, this is my recommendation, you do you. This is a fragrance that is perfect for going outdoors. If you're going to be in an office, I would limit the amount of sprays. There's been time with Sandra, she's just spraying, so we're around the house, and man, I feel like I'm literally walking through clouds of Impadia. Whereas when we've gone out for the day or whatever, and she wears Impadia, it's glorious. It's so pronounced and so beautiful in the air, but in amongst the atmosphere, as opposed to in a closed environment where it's very thick. I think it's very thick. So I wrote here, a beast in a capital letters. It is fun, it is playful, it is a youthful, and it is an everyday fragrance. I feel like this is something that this could become someone's signature scent without a problem. And yeah, it goes on forever, like 24 hours. I'm still smelling Impadia from Sandra when she's been wearing it the day before. I'm gonna stop. No, I'm gonna keep going. Last one. So just so you know, for a woman who doesn't like rose and doesn't like vanilla, the moment she sprayed Impadia, it ticked all the boxes for Sandra, and it's one that she just has not come away from. It's something that she absolutely adores. One that she hated when we first experienced this. Have a look at this photo. So had an opportunity to be in LA a few years back. We had a meetup at Neiman Marcus. Fred, the great Fred, he actually traveled across. Thank you, Fred, for doing that. He traveled across. I was able to meet him for the first time in person. And we did this meetup here at Neiman Marcus. Now, Carmina had just been launched, and you can just see it here in the background, that it was on display. I wanted to buy my wife a fragrance. I've been hearing a lot about Carmina. It hadn't been released yet in Australia. We sprayed, and she goes, "Bleh, that's horrible. I don't like that fragrance. That's yuck." Oh, there's rose in there. Is that cherry? I can smell a fruit. So I'm like, I actually didn't mind it, but because in the end, I bought something else, so let me just say that. Still spent my money. But bottom line is, she did not like it. This is a recent inclusion for me. I was wearing it the other day, and I'll let you guys fill in the gap. Wow, you smell great. What is that? And it turns out that it's a fragrance that she didn't like. Now, the thing that I love about Carmina is, and I put it on this arm here, because rosé is here, and it has a delicate, ethereal fruit element to it. Whereas I find that Carmina now has the cherry, and it is, I think it's defined as black cherry because it's definitely a black, very deep, very sort of like, think of like a big fat juicy cherry that is very dark, and the moment you bite into it, the juices are flowing. That's the sort of first impressions you get on that element. As it begins to dry down, the rose sort of evolves a lot more, and you get, for me, it goes into like a touch of booziness to it. There is a drunken rose cherry element to it. Sorry, with amber. That was the last part. And it's divine. It's really exceptional. The rose is more full-bodied, robust. Not pulpy is the wrong word, but sort of dense. So nice and dense rose with that dark cherry element to it. The sweetness levels have really been toned down. So if I compare it to rosé, you're getting I go back to that elderflower rosé, cordial, so that mixer, so there is a touch of sweetness that comes through. It's not over the top, not like Impadia. Impadia really brings forward the vanilla and the sweetness from the fruits and stuff like that. Carmina is a wonderful evening fragrance. It's a cool weather. It could even be something that if you're having a night in and you're just going to be chilling, watching TV, this is one that you could just lounge around in. It has this molding sort of warmth to it. This is gorgeous. So, and again, Sandra was like, wow, that's really beautiful. That's really gorgeous. So for me, Carmina is a big hit. I put here, it's a dark, boozy rose, 100%. An evening, oh yeah, so on its dry down. So early on, that fruit is a little bit more, like I said, juicy and dark, and the dark cherry, and with that, it never goes into that medicinal sort of. Sometimes some cherry scented fragrances has a little bit of that Dr. Pepper sort of vibe to it. That more confectionery. Here, everything is toned down, very fruit-like, very dark-like, and also, oh yeah, and then when it dries down, it does go into like a dark fruits, like a dark plum, and this is my booziness where I'm seeing all this in some sort of juices and things like that. It's decadent. It's a beautiful fragrance to wear as an evening thing. If you're going out on a date, Carmina will just be glorious. Man or woman, this is comfortably unisex. Anybody could be wearing this. If anything, I'm going to say this is more masculine because of those ambery darkness, the woody amber element to it. Boom. Big recommendation. As a rose fragrance, forget about it. All right. I am going to stop because the next one, I'm going to now move into, so those were four fruity, four fragrances with a fruity accent to that rose. So the different sort of pieces. I'm going to move into incense next, so beautiful rose incense. And then finally, a little bit, I'm going to go into more animalic, a little bit more deeper into those rose and sort of dirtiness into it. I'll be back. So the last four have that fruity accent, and as a result, if you're uncomfortable with rose, then all of a sudden with that fruit sweetness, it might sort of, as a man, might not play so well on you. These next four, because of now either incense or now a bit more animalic, with the rose, this is something that if you're new to this sort of conversation, this could be something that you could actually adopt. Again, ladies, because it does have rose, because rose is perceived as a, well, not perceived, because it's a floral note, it's therefore sometimes perceived as feminine. These are easy for you ladies to wear. The first one that I want to put to you, now I made a very bold claim a little while back that rose incense by Amouage is the best rose incense out there. There's a gentleman, a good friend of mine, Elias. I'm doing this for you, my brother. He took them as fighting words because so one, he put a comment in, two, he sent me a message, and then three, he rang me and said, you're mistaken, this is the best rose incense out there. So Elias's background is Greek, and he really has a deep connection to the incense that is in here. George Zaharoff, when he was building this fragrance, also has a Greek connection, and he wanted to get something that had I guess the sacredness within the Greek Orthodox Church. I said that in such a weird way, in the Greek Orthodox Church, just straightforward. So originally when this came out, it was called Signature Rosé, and then George added the additional wording of Athonite. And Athonite is in reference to Mount Athos. There is a monastery on the top there. The monks create actually an incense. They create their own incense. And so this is what George is bringing together. If you want to know more about this, have a look at this particular episode. It is a discovery series. It's part of the the Zaharoff NFC passport. And these are 5 fragrances that I selected that I really love from the Zaharoff collection. You can follow me in real time as I unbox them and you smell alongside me. The idea is you buy or you purchase the passport. It does have a travel atomizer, so you can use this now as a traveling thing. And I'll tell you about fragrance and travel in the next fragrance that I have for you. You can use the code NFC10. You get a 10% discount. I'm not sure about free delivery, but anyway, I know that you can get 10% off across the entire the entire site. So this one here, in respect to Ilias, okay, the truth is this. I love Amouage's rose incense. I think it is, there's different aspects sort of coming through. I find that the incense here is a lot more sacred, definitely a lot more church-like, whereas I find that the incense within the Amouage is a lot more, it has a dustiness to more. It seems to float more on the air, whereas here there is a reverence to it. There is not a heaviness, but there's definitely something a lot more somber about it. I think that's what it is. The other part to it is, as Ilias, he does have that connection to I don't know if he's goes to Greek Orthodox, but he does have that Greek connection to it all. So if you'd like that more sort of church-like, a lot more reverential, a lot more sacred in its goodness me, I think I need a mate. Boom, boom, boom. If you like it more in that reverential sort of aspect to it, then I would recommend to you the Signature Rosé Athonite as a great fragrance. I did write here that I feel like the fragrance really plays itself in 2 parts. Part 1 is a very deep, very decadent, very full-bodied rose. That rose on first spray presents itself just super quick and present. You know, this beautiful. There's nothing ethereal about it. It's a deepness to it. There is already a full-bodied nature to this rose. Shortly after, and maybe when I say shortly, maybe a minute into it, all of a sudden you're beginning to get that incense coming through. And the incense does have that heaviness, that darkness. There is a papyrus, peppery sort of element to it. It does go into more of that smoky, so you get this beautiful, deep floral rose with a very smoky, very serious style of incense. And this is where the fragrance essentially sort of envelopes, these 2 notes envelope each other. And that's what I'm getting throughout the whole fragrance. I don't get any nuances. Guaranteed there's a million other notes in there or other things playing around. But for me, it's really a rose incense fragrance coming together as one piece. The deeper I go in, so where before the rose presents itself very quickly with the incense sort of following, as it dries down, I'm now about an hour and a half deep. When it dries down, it's now the incense with the rose following. So the incense really presents itself a lot more with the rose in the background. It's a serious fragrance. This would be beautiful in an office. This would be beautiful as a day-to-day. This would be beautiful as a going out. It works really well in summer. Actually, I find that in summer you get almost like a bit more of like a greenness coming through from that incense. The rose is still very present. It's still full-bodied, nothing ethereal, nothing light in the air. As a winter fragrance, it has this beautiful cloak. It's almost like this wonderful coat that you're wearing. There's a sense of comfort and being covered by something beautiful and warm. So I did say, so I wrote it here. So there's a reverence and a seriousness to this particular fragrance, and there is a beautifully peaceful balance between the rose and that incense that come together. I feel that this is deeply a unisex fragrance. I don't think that anybody would, like a man or woman, would feel uncomfortable wearing this. Both of these elements, they sort of combine themselves beautifully that either man or woman can wear without a problem. And it has great longevity and presence, 12 plus hours without a problem. And its projection and presence in the air is huge. It actually has great potency and power. The next one that I want to put forward to you also is rose and incense, but now done in a much more playful way. Again, easy, man or woman can wear this. On first spray, you are unsure as to where this thing is landing. And I actually wrote these things. I said, am I getting citrus? Because you're getting like a citrus, but I'm like, hang on a second, with the question mark. Is it herbal? Am I getting like a herbal piece to it? And question mark. Am I getting spicy? It seems like to be like a spicy note coming through. And hang on a second, I'm getting like a green. Now, in amongst all this, so this lid here is meant to be fireworks. So the brand Floraiku celebrates Japanese culture. This is, to me, it looks like bubbles. But it's meant to be fireworks. And so for me, the opening is just that. It's all this, these different notes popping and coming forward. Nothing really presenting itself very clearly to say, I am this or that or the other. Just all these different things are popping. The only thing that sort of settles in after the initial opening is this very delicate rose. The rose here now is a lot more playful. There is a lot more green, a lot more like spring morning, so there's a vibrance to it. When the fragrance does settle down, then the notes begin to present themselves a little bit better, and I am getting a very distinct herbal, lemony sort of feeling to it. I couldn't define the herbal. I'm like, there's something happy, there's something bright. It turns out that it's a mint. There's like a peppermint or something of that nature. But when you think peppermint, from my brain goes to like gum, like chewing gum. That very sort of confectionery style of scent profile. Whereas here, it does have more of a herbal green piece to it. But the peppermint, now that you go peppermint, you're like, oh yeah, I can get that peppermint sort of element to it. The beep up boop. I mentioned earlier that, and if you look at last week's episode, I talked about fragrances to take on holiday. This is Paris for me. The moment I spray, I am taken to, there's a beautiful apartment that we love renting when we go to Paris, and out the window you can see Sacré-Cœur on the hill. So we're in it's a Pigalle area, so not far from Montmartre. And there's just a cool vibe to this neighborhood, and this apartment, there's an airiness to it. There's always beautiful sunshine. The way the windows are positioned, that you get this wonderful sort of circulation of air that comes in. And I spray this, and this is what brings to mind. This is a fragrance I actually took on one of the fragrance tours, and I was wearing quite regularly in the dark. And spray, and boom, I'm in the apartment, and I can see Sacré-Cœur, and I can feel myself in this neighborhood, and I can sense sunshine and breezy, and it has this sort of optimism in the air, this brightness in the air. If you haven't experienced that, you're like, that's cool. That's your experience. Why would I want to wear this? It's all those pieces, though. It's all that. There is optimism in the smell, or in the scent profile. There is both this beautiful balance of this green incense, a touch smoky, but it's more leaning towards green and citrusy, with this not ethereal, with this bright, colorful rose, a happy rose, a spring-like rose. I wrote here that this is a great spring fragrance. This is a beautiful summer fragrance. I've worn it in hot heat or high heat summer. It just works so well. It's an early autumn into fall, but not a winter fragrance. Today is very cold, and this fragrance is not. So on the first sprays, it's all that stuff that I was saying, but it doesn't linger on my skin as much in this cooler weather that we're having today. So I found that warm skin, or a warmer sort of atmosphere, the fragrance sort of pushes off my skin a lot better. There's more presence to it. When I am wearing it in those particular seasons, I'm getting 6 to 7 hours without a problem. It does have great push when it comes to its sillage and projection. People around me are detecting it, and it is a happy fragrance. It's one that sort of changes your mood and makes you feel good. I even put here with a massive smile, and it's one of my favorite fragrances with an opening. The opening of the fragrance is something that just instantly brings happiness into my soul. Boom, that's it. So 2 completely different rose incense. This one here, deep, dark, moody, half light sort of expression, and then this one here, bubbly, fun, summertime, spring, just optimism in the air. Not that this is not an optimistic fragrance, but there is a somberness, there's a sacredness, a reverence to this one, as opposed to this one, which is a lot more fun and playful. Allora, okay, so last two. These are now moving into animalics, and when I say animalics, nothing dirty, nothing musky. There is a musk in this one here, but it's not an animalic musk. This is a recent, I've been banging on recently about all things Pernoire. Now these guys are doing, in my opinion, a solid job. I've been speaking about Anello, great fragrance. I've been speaking about actually the durian oud one. I wore it again the other day. Some people are knocking it, just try it. It is a stinky sort of combination, but it works really well. That durian fruit note really sort of accentuates itself. I'm looking at the other one. Oh, and the popcorn one. That one is just as a decadent date night, super fun. So the next one I want to put up in this sort of white collection is Melos. I always call it Melos, but it's Melos. So it's miel. I'm guessing miel means honey in Spanish, because I'd like to break up words and they make it into one. So for me, it's miel and rose, so honey and rose. They're the core of it, honey and rose. However, and I wrote this, here are the notes, bada boom. I don't get this. I don't get these clear parameters. On spraying, I just get something that I like, whoa, I like you. But normally my nose wants to unpick things quickly, and I can start to sort of assigning more herbal, even if I can't get the note, my brain starts going, oh, this is herbal, that's kind of citrusy, and sort of starts to break things down. Whereas here, it's an overall feeling, and the feeling is this warm, ambery, sort of seductive, sort of alluring. I even wrote the words, this is sensual without any effort. It's almost like a person who is incredibly good looking, and just there is a charisma to this individual, but they're not aware of it. And they just seem to draw people to them. They just seem to, like one smile and almost like you feel like a halo, this sort of backlit sort of glow happens to them. I don't know anybody like that, because most people who know that they're beautiful behave like they're beautiful. But it makes me think of the scene, for those who have watched 30 Rock, where John Hamm is actually one of the characters, and he doesn't realize how handsome he is. And there's one particular scene where him and Liz, he's got his face covered, and he's asking for all these things in a cafeteria, and the lady's going, sure, we could do that, we can do this, or we can, no, sorry, I lie. He's asking for all these things, and she's looking at him and just going, wow, you're so beautiful that you can have whatever you want. And Liz is so disappointed, going, why are you allowing this? And so she lifts up the menu across his face, and she's like, I cooked that. Anyway, watch the episode. I'll put it somewhere. It's a funny scene. But basically, the gist of it is that he's so handsome, he can get his way on everything. And this is what Melos does. It's such a beautiful scent profile that it's effortlessly seductive. It's effortlessly alluring, and just without pretending that I have boozy notes and I have sweet caramel notes or whatever it may be. They just exist, and because they exist, they're just super alluring and gorgeous. Anyway, I don't know if I explained that well. What I'm saying to you is, try this fragrance out. Try this fragrance out. Put it on skin. See what it does for you. I was reading Fragrantica, and they're saying this is a classic rose honey. I don't get that. All right, so the rose is present. Sorry, the rose is there, but not overtly present. So it's not like this one here, where the rose is distinct. Here, yeah, I guess there's a floral, and I'm going to assign it to a rose. There is a sweetness, but it's not my perception of honey. There's a caramel, and there was one note that I saw in there, which is obviously constructed, baked apple. And when I read that, I'm like, baked apple, that caramelized, the sweetness, but then the warmth of that apple. There is a beautiful, so again, I go back to the honey. My problem with honey is that because I've got my beehive, I associate a lot of things. When I hear honey, I associate it to the beehive, and I associate it to my understanding or my scent, my olfactory understanding of that hive. So this is not honey, other than, sorry, the scent perfume is not. Wow, I'm really cooking it. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. Please be gentle to me in your comments. It reminds me of this. This is leatherwood honey. It's exclusive. If you can get your hands on this, this is exclusive to Tasmania. The leatherwood tree only grows in a certain part of Tasmania. Whenever I travel the world, I'm always buying unique honey. So I don't buy. I always buy like a gourmand honey or an artisanal honey or something that I can see that is, rather than just massively extracted from somewhere, something that is a bit more unique. There is nothing, and I'm going to say this boldly, there is nothing that compares to leatherwood honey. So I do enjoy all these different honeys from around the world as I taste them, but nothing to date ever competes or is better than this, even my own honey. And that's a big call because I love my bees and I love my honey. But leatherwood honey is the most glorious, the most beautiful. This is God's nectar to the world. So I'm going to taste it. It's really divine. And, all right, so what am I getting? A mixture of florals in the scent profile. There is not necessarily leathery, but there is like a suede kind of aftertaste. It's not bitter, but it does have a pronounced, it leaves a beautiful aftertaste in your mouth. And it does have a very delicate floral touch to it. This is Melos for me. It has that, for me, it does have that leather wood sort of, also caramel, slight balsamic sort of, the deep richness, and anyway. Big recommendation. Now, here's the thing. I've been ODing on this. So rarely do I ever wear a fragrance 2 days in a row. I've been wearing this 2 days in a row. The other day I was wearing, so on a Saturday, I like to come in, do half a day, so just to sort of tidy up, get ready for the following week, and then go home. So by midday, I'm already home. I was wearing this, I was in the office, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna spray you again. Sandra, as I came back, probably about 3-4 meters away, and she already, as I'm walking towards her, she was like, oh, you smell beautiful. What is that? That's just beautiful in the air. It has great presence, great push. The downside to this, as Sandra got close, I already had my gut feeling on this. When she smelt me off skin, she's like, oh, that's not what I thought I was going to be smelling. So I find that what it produces in the air, and it's this combination of sillage, is quite delicate and just very, like I said, effortlessly sensual. Up close, there is an animalic touch to it, which is not dirty, which is not off-putting, but it's like, it has a skin quality to it. So the best way I can define this is when you wake up in the morning and you smell your loved one in this area here, they have their own sassiness, they have their own scent profile that belongs to them, which is beautiful. Let me just say, this is where I love the smelling here, is you feel like you're smelling the soul of the individual. It's that. And this, I feel, has that sort of animalic, musky touch, human skin-like touch to it, mixed in with this baked apple, caramel, honey, rose. Divine. Big recommendation. Test it. I don't recommend you blind buy it because you might not like it. But I've been really enjoying that fragrance a lot. All right, last one. So actually, this episode here, I did a blind smelling with Elias, and I showed him Flamenco. Now, he's blind smelling, so obviously when you cover your eyes, your senses sort of heighten, and in particular your sense of smell. And he really couldn't get over the fact that it was so overtly sweet. So I love Flamenco because of that very nature, this very very fun and energetic and lively raspberry note that presents itself, then intermingled with that rose. So these two beautiful, bright, spring-like, full of energy, but it is very feminine leaning. So it does feel like a very, I've actually shown, I wear it, but I've shown a few men and they're like, not for me, it feels too feminine or to their nose, feels too feminine. Again, for me, I wear it, I enjoy it, I love it. However, boys, if you want now something that has a bit more, I guess, a deeper touch to it, still playful, still has those core notes. The difference is, this is now Extrait, so it's Flamenco Extrait. I'd recommend this to you because it does have that beautiful raspberry, but it's been pared back. It now has introduced early on a very sharp medicinal saffron note. On first spray, you're getting this intensity that is, I wrote animalic, yeah, animalic and very leathery, almost to the point of being not gasoline-like, but that really sharp leather note that you get in these very robust leather fragrances. There's another great fragrance, actually I was going to reach for it, but it's not in front of me. Matière Premier's Crystal Saffron, where it uses that saffron, sharp, medicinal, very crystal-like, very sort of bright and energetic. For me, it's very similar. So when this opens, that crystal saffron element that you have in Matière Première presents itself very quickly. It does peel itself back. So on that opening, it's a little bit arresting. You think, what in the world is this about? Give it time as it begins to settle and as the other notes sort of begin to come forward. The whole composition of this fragrance is gorgeous. There's a lot more movement than the eau de parfum when it comes to the flamenco. The Extrait has a lot more density to it. So I've now moved, this is again an hour and a half, and I've now moved away from that gasoline tight, harsh, sort of leathery, saffron, medicinal sharpness to it. I'm now, because when you look at the notes and you see raspberry, you're like, where does this exist? As it begins to dry down, you're now getting that beautiful leathery effect, but then this beautiful raspberry comes through, not as sweet and cordial-like as the eau de parfum, but definitely it has the presence of it, and then the rose begins to take shape. Here, everything moves a lot slower when it comes to its evolution, so you're getting a lot more facets coming through as it begins to dry down deeper. The oud becomes apparent, but way deeper down now. And it's not animalic. If anything, it's more woody and more robust. Has great presence, great longevity, 12 plus hours without a problem. I'm just trying to, okay, yeah. So one thing, this evolution, I wrote it down as blooming. So think of it like a flower that is, this constant evolution of blooming is what's happening with this fragrance. So the first sort of opening of the fragrance is that saffron, leathery aspect to it. And then all of a sudden the raspberry note, that fruitiness begins to bloom right behind it and sort of take dominance, and then the rose will bloom, and then the woodiness of that oud will bloom. And all of them in the final dry down, just this beautiful combination. It's one that I enjoy smelling up close, but it's one that you should just let it do its thing in the air. The scent profile that it creates is phenomenal. Bing, bada boom, 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 I'm done. So if you want, not that I agree to this, but I'll put it to you guys. You guys make your own decision. The eau de parfum flamenco, more feminine, a little bit fruitier. The rose is a lot more cheerful. The Extrait, a lot more masculine leaning. It's more robust. It's a little bit darker, and definitely, yeah. But just boys, grab the flamenco, the eau de parfum. Try it. It's phenomenal. It's really good fragrance. There you go. Some amazing rose fragrances. There's more. There's so many more, but I thought this is a good, nice balance between the different styles, fruity, animalic, and then those incense ones. I'm going to stop now, and the next setup that you'll see will be me in a different outfit because I'm going to now film tomorrow, and then we'll finish up the Mate Talk.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Frank. Hello, Marcelo.
Hello. So this is something I've been wanting to do for a while as part of Mates of Marcelo. Franco was actually one of the bakeries that I went to see for panettone. We were the first one I went to, picked it up quickly.
Yeah.
Franco sent me an email the next day. And I'm
They
like,
were quicker.
you know, the funny thing is, at the time, I'm like, oh, what do I do? But I made a promise that
Yes.
whoever said yes first, we would bump. So this year, everybody, incredible panettone. We will be doing it with To Be Frank. So we'll talk about that. But
Yeah.
this is a great intro to your business and what you're doing. So, fellow Argentinian, we do have mate today. We're going to actually do it la manera argentina, the Argentinian way, which is one straw, one bombilla, and people share it. There's none of this one straw each. It's just the way we do it.
It's the way we do it.
I mean, this is how we pass a lot of diseases across to each other. This is why we're always sick.
COVID was a challenge.
Yeah, COVID was a challenge.
COVID was a challenge.
So anyway, so one mate, but let's talk about what you do.
To Be Frank itself is a bakery that has created just to tell the people for the neighborhood in Collingwood. And all of a sudden we are, you know, getting a little bit larger and larger.
Your business is
Yeah.
a reflection of you. What do you look for that others should look for in good food?
People have found the nourishing part of bread. So nowadays there is more little bakeries like ours.
Yeah.
Trying to work with local farmers, nice flowers, and then, you know, earthiness, and to nourish the body in a sense. So that's pretty much what we are looking for in To Be Frank, yeah.
So you're looking for good ingredients, I'm guessing.
Yes, good ingredients.
So what is good ingredients? So is it?
For example, we work with the backbone of To Be Frank is working with biodynamic flowers that they are grown in Australia.
Yeah.
As also sustainable flowers. So that's in terms of bread. And then when we are talking about the pastries, which is the fun part of the pastries, all the lamination, so we can work seasonal. So then we can offer to people menu changes. Even though it's a bakery, we work it as a kitchen. Believe it or not, the majority of the bakers, they are chefs.
Right.
That they actually are tired of, including me, of working like a late nights,
Right.
which even though it is fantastically fun,
Yes.
at some point that has an end, you know? When
Sure.
you lose your hair,
Sure.
it's time to, you know,
So,
to say,
no more fun.
no more fun.
What I'm hearing is
Yes.
what you guys do is now about nourishment, and it's
Yes.
about sourcing the right ingredients to create something that is now nourishing for the body, also something that is expressive and fun
Yes.
to enjoy. I mean,
Yes.
there's probably not a lot of nourishment in that, but there's a lot of joy.
It
There's
is
a lot
nuts in here.
I love nuts. I don't have problems with nuts. So for me, this is what I'm always looking for. So rather than just niche perfumery, which and the things that you just applied are the principles in here, sort of collecting really natural, raw ingredients and things that make it a difference. And so I love doing this across everything: food, across clothing, across the fragrances. So this is something that I love. All right. Well, I'm going to serve you a mate,
Yeah, of course.
and I'm going to try one of the almond croissant that's in front of
Yes.
me. Is what I want to have a go for. So that's for you, my friend.
Yes. This is our latest almond croissant.
Oh, so this is like an improvement, or is this?
It is an improvement. So then, normally what we do, which became, please.
I'll take this one. Is that all right?
Yeah.
All right.
Which
So
you be-
let me show the camera.
Yeah. So what we do, bakeries started doing traditionally almond croissants with the leftover of the fresh almonds, right? So then nowadays we found ourselves baking extra croissants to supply almond croissants to people. So then we thought, instead of, you know, baking more croissants, why we don't make something that is slightly more special than that?
Right.
And hence why this pastry, which you can see here, is a cross lamination. So then it has a little bit more of a work in there. So,
Yes. So
which it makes very crunchy and everything.
Right, because what it is that these little layers over the top, and
Yeah.
I can feel already that there is even
Yeah.
the feeling of it is a crunchiness
Yes,
to it.
it is.
And
yeah.
the paste, this almond paste, is this
Yeah.
something that you get from, like, where do you source it? The almonds?
Oh no, we made it. So
you made the almond paste?
Oh, we make everything in house.
Bada
Yeah.
boom.
So So then we do pretty much almond cream, which is, you know, almond milk, butter, some almond flaky almonds and egg, and that's it. So then that's what it is. So then it has a little bit of magic in there, which has a little bit of magic,
Oh.
which is the boost of a.
Don't say no.
Oh, okay, that's it.
It's a secret recipe.
You have to come and try it.
It's a secret recipe. So about a week ago, Frank reached out to me and asked me, I'm trying to find Dolce Milano.
Yes.
I can't get it out of my brain since when I came here in November.
In November, yes.
He opened up the book, he found the blotter, smelt it, he's like, oh wow, you know? So right now we're on a massive campaign to get added into retail. Oligarch, it's now in Oligarch, so you can find the fragrances there, local Aussies. I came to visit you last week.
Yes.
And I brought the fragrances. You tell the rest of the story.
I'm laughing.
Because I came with Dolce and I thought, you know what, I'm going to bring the others. You tell the rest of the story.
We're supposed to talk only about Dolce, the plan about Panettone, how we're going to promote it, and, doing this kind of chat in there, but only about Dolce. And then all of a sudden, he brought them all in, and then I was, okay, but I want to try the other ones. And then, okay, fantastic. What did I do? I ended up buying the 3 of them.
And no coercion. So I didn't there was no pressure,
Nothing.
there was nothing.
Nothing, yeah.
You put on Dolce,
Yes.
you're like, wow, this is beautiful. Oh, this is what I remember. Yeah,
Yes.
okay, yeah, give me Dolce.
Give
And
me
then you're
Dolce.
like, and then I think I said to you, try Bella Viola.
And Bella Viola, sexy. Bella Viola, I don't know if we're going to talk.
Yeah,
Okay, fantastic. So then Bella Viola, as soon as I tried, I thought like, oh, this is sexy. And then I'm not a perfumier, so then, what I feel as a baker and someone that loves fragrances, I could pretty much sense that. And then I'm, oh, this is a sexy thing, smoky, leathery, and so I was, okay, maybe I should get that one. And then I didn't know because it was this other, the Roma 271, which at first when I tried it, I felt like, oh, this is too much incense for me.
We put it on the blotter. So I
yes.
sprayed on the blotter, you
Yes.
smelt it.
Yeah.
And from your expression, you're like, no.
Became my favorite one.
What did I say to you? Put it on skin. And you were reluctant. You're like, I'm like,
Yeah, yes.
you can wash it off. Put it on skin.
Yes, yes. And it's incredible, just to challenge Marcelo, after I bought it anyways, I just want to wear it the full week. And I can't stop wearing it. And then to the point that whoever knows, to be frank, and myself, Lauren, my partner, she's stealing it from me now. So she said to me, whenever you don't wear it, I will wear it. It changed, it's fantastic. I think Roma 271 is fantastic. Like it changed over the time. At the very beginning, I didn't know if it's brushing 1, 2, 3 times. So then I started with only 2. Then I was asking to people, can you smell my, can you feel it? After 2-3 hours, and they were, yes, yes. And then, but they were too close. So then now I am wearing 3 splashes every day, one in here, So then, and at some point, it's like, and the spray, also the, how do you call that?
The stream.
The stream.
Beautiful.
Fantastic,
Thank
And then I learned that you should do it on the air, and then you walk into it.
You do whatever you want. We had a whole bunch of sprayers. No, don't like it. Not bad. Ooh, better. So we were even sending videos saying this is what we want, and we were explaining exactly the.
I can't believe this.
For real. So we were very, very specific on the sprayer that we wanted. We had a vision of what we wanted here.
All right. It's the first time we
So just like
it's not just a coincidence. It is
no.
not that you buy a bottle with.
No,
okay, that it comes with it.
Correct.
So
I'll go one more. So Dolce Milano,
great.
the original scent
Yeah.
that were created, beautiful, but it didn't represent Milan. So we put it aside.
Okay.
And we went back to the drawing board from scratch, and we
Yes.
started again with a perfumer
Right.
to create this.
Well, this is amazing anyways.
Thank
I
you.
love it.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank
yeah.
you. Thank you.
And Dolce Milano, I don't know if we should talk about of it or not, but what I feel in Dolce Milano is like when we spoke, you said to me it's more daytime, but honestly, I feel that I can wear it on a nice dark bar,
Okay.
because it has like this sort of like a.
You're welcome to spray if you wanna.
Yeah, okay. It's like a look. I am not so sure I should have read this before, but I think it has like this alcohol.
Rum.
Rum. There you go. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's like I feel like I could be wearing
boozy.
this. Yeah, booze. Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
In a dark, in a velvet, sitting on a velvet thing, and then I am. Yes, this is my Dolce Milano.
You know how I'm sure that when
I
people
don't know if you
talk,
can see this, but this is.
you know, I love it. So I'm sure when people, oh, that's beautiful.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
Sorry, look, it's my baby. So for me to say that it's beautiful is wrong because I mean I'm not going to say my baby's not beautiful.
Of course, we all see the baby very beautiful.
That's right. But to hear you talk about my baby like this, I'm sure when people talk about your breads and you know they're very expressive, that makes you happy. It makes you gives you joy. You know. So anyway. This is Frank.
Yes.
To Be Frank is the venue. You need to
Yes.
come. So locals, if you're not aware of it, it is.
Yes.
I love also that you're off the main street.
Yes.
I do love this.
You have to come to the front, you know, so you're not just passing by.
Correct. So it's a place to be found as opposed to just stumble into.
Yes.
And the food, the bread, the atmosphere, everything about it is phenomenal. The business is going so well. So congratulations on its expansion.
Thank you very much.
I'll make sure to put a tag, so if you want to follow their Insta account, you can have a look at the work that they do. And this year, Panettone,
Yes, we're doing it together.
gonna do it.
We're gonna do it together, and you have to wait for this man because but maybe the Dolce Milano, we're gonna be,
Oh, yeah.
selling it with the panettone,
I
right?
love, yes, of course.
So
we
this
have
is
to
what
do
we're
it.
gonna be doing it. Yeah. Okay,
He's
fantastic.
already done it. He's done the marketing.
Yeah.
Grazie.
I didn't know if I should say it or not, but
Do it.
but that was the idea. So then,
Do it.
and this time, no one beat me because I contacted him at
One
the
year
beginning-
early.
almost 1 year early.
1 year early.
I want my panettone to be next to Dolce Milano. Yes.
Grazie.
Grazie.
How cool was that? It was being in Frank's company and hearing him share his appreciation and joy when it comes to the fragrances. It was the best experience, honestly. You could see the smile on my face. I was grinning from ear to ear. Yeah, it was so I'm really, really happy that this fragrance is the olfactive traveler is resonating so well. Melbourneites, go check out To Be Frank. Really impressive. Now have a look at this footage here that I shot. So for those who've seen the show Ted Lasso and the biscuits that he makes, so they've done in a cheeky way their version of it. Just go for this. I promise you, it will be worth your journey. If you love shortbread biscuit, it is decadent and yeah, it actually, now I'm gonna have to eat it whilst the main character, the female, the boss lady, as she's eating it and her eyes are rolling back. So yeah, anyway, To Be Frank, go check it out. Beautiful, beautiful bakery. And here again is their handle, so you can have a look at all the stuff they do. They are very seasonal in the work that they, the breads that they create, fragrances. All right, to wrap up Mate Talk, become a member on this date. We're going to do what I'm calling is a town square meeting. The idea is that it's basically all the members who are available will meet together within Discord and just have a chance to catch up. We did it in June. It was awesome. That was great to have those who could join us come together and talk about a million things. New finds, scent of the day, the industry as a whole. I mean, we spent an hour just enjoying one another's company across the world. We had people from the US, Mercedes rang in from, she was at Exxon, so she was giving us an Exxon update. So the next one's coming up on this date. If you become a member, you'll get access to Discord and you can then also join us if you're available. Boom. The two last things. One, there is a promo coming up. So Libertine Perfumerie have always been a great supporter of the NFC channel. They are doing a giveaway, so that's coming up very shortly. I'll explain more, but the essence of it is if you buy a bottle of Penhaligons, use a particular code, which I'll provide for you, you'll have the chance to win either Bold Blend or Oh the Audacity. this Sunday will come out an episode on those two particular fragrances. Really, I'm absolutely loving, with in particular, Oh the Audacity. It's really, if you like incense, it's gorgeous. It's a beautiful fragrance that I'm really diving into. And the last part is movie scents. So we did I did The Shining a few weeks back. The votes that have coming in so far that I'm gonna put down, I want to have 3 more, by the way. So The Godfather Part 1 is 100% yes. That would be one. And you guys are gonna vote, all right? So Godfather Part 1, or the Hotel, I always mix this up, the Grand Hotel Budapest. I think that's, or is it the, anyway, boom. Grand Budapest Hotel. All right, so they're the two that and that one there, I can already see all the different characters wearing a million different fragrances. So tell me, make some of the suggestions. Then we'll put everything to a vote, and you guys will select, and then I'll do my research, and then I'll bring that forward. Bada bing. That was a very long Monte talk today, but Mates of Marcelo, such a great segment. There's more coming down the line, so there's more of these different spotlights that I'd like to put on to different things that I actually love, and put it on your radar. Also see if you're interested in this type of conversation too. Thanks everyone. We'll see you guys all on the next Monte Talk.